Lobster Mushroom Experiment, Take 4. You learn something new every day, and I guess I just didn't realize, since I never did a live before, that there is a time limit. So I'm just going to finish up what I was already working on before I realized, oh wait, it ended. So in between the live cutting off and me starting back up, I'm gonna go ahead and get these banana blossoms that we've had soaking in spring water and seasonings to try to get it to taste more like fish. I'm gonna go ahead and try the vegan air fried fish for the first time. You guys already saw that I got my batters together, so I'm literally just at this point gonna dip them into the wet and dry batter. I've already oiled the bottom of my air fryer and cleaned it out from the first go around of the lobster, well, the air fried lobster mushrooms. So yeah, let me go ahead and do that. I feel like they've been soaking for at least an hour. Oh, but you know what? I did say before the live got cut off that I was actually going to add a little extra dulce and kelp seasonings, because I really do see the effect that it had with the lobster mushrooms as far as giving it like a seafood taste, which was awesome. So I definitely want to add a little bit more of that into the dry batter. And maybe even into the wet batter, whatnot. Because banana blossoms aren't mushrooms, and you can kind of get the mushrooms, the seasonings, to seep into those by marinating them or kind of chopping the skin up a tad bit like I did for the scallops. I actually have no idea what it really takes except, you know, brining it. Probably if I brined it a little bit longer, it probably would give it even more flavor. But it's only been brining for like an hour, but that should still be fine. So I'm just gonna dip it out of the water, dip them into the wet batter and the dry batter. I'm probably gonna cook it around the same time that I did the air fried lobster mushrooms. I'm gonna start it off with 10 and then spray it, flip them over, spray it, flip it over, and spray again. And then probably cook it for like another 5 to 7 minutes, just depending on the crispiness of it after this first round. My air fryer is nice and warm from preheating it for about 10 minutes while I was getting my phone situated and getting the first live saved, because the other two were deleted. The other two. The ones I started off with. Because again, my original plan was just to cook and vibe, but apparently you can't do that.
Battery low.
Well, I don't need the battery because no music is playing. All right. So it's interesting. Some of these pieces of banana blossom, after they've been sitting for a while, kind of actually do look like kind of a piece of fish. I cut the middle out. I don't know if you guys can see how brown that is. Kind of the way, well, brownish but light at the same time, kind of the way that raw fish can look. Which is probably what gave whoever decided to fry banana blossoms first the idea to fry them. So they probably pulled open the banana blossom plant. More than likely it was a stoner too, because stoners always have a way of just being like, you know what, I'm gonna turn this into this. So probably some stoner somewhere, vegan stoner, because there are a lot of vegan stoners out there. It's probably high and for whatever reason was around a banana tree or something and decided to peel it because, you know, you get high and curious, and then got down to the middle of it and I was like, dang, if you cut this open, it kind of looks like fish. I wonder what would happen if we take it in the house and fry it. So that's probably not how it happened, but since I don't know who had the idea to fry these first, I'm just gonna make up my own story. it looks like I'm gonna be able to fit about 6 or 7 of these pieces of banana blossom into the air fryer. I did say that I was gonna show you guys kind of what the banana blossom looked back when it's peeled all the way. I may still do that at the very end, depending on how long it takes to get these scallops and sauteed lobster mushroom together. Okay, yeah, I was able to fit 6 pieces. And I can't remember how many banana blocks. Oh, well, actually, you can count. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 banana blossoms, it looks like. So I'm gonna have about 18 halves of fish. All right, put this in the air fryer for 10 minutes. All right, so my goal is by the time that it's done cooking for the first round, to hopefully have the lobster mushroom that I haven't cooked, sauteed, I mean, done. So in order to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is finish prepping my spaghetti squash. See how easy it is to clean up when you use parchment paper? Not pepper, but paper. Just throw that away. These leftover vegetables that I have over. Like I said, I do have some sauteed kale that I'm gonna make to go with this, but not on live. So right now my goal is just to cut up these last 3 pieces of lobster mushroom to mix it in with these scallops and saute them. So I think I may just cut these in strips. Why not? And then maybe make them a little bit smaller. So like in kind of the same size little pieces that I cut the king oyster mushrooms in. You know what? I'm gonna see if that same principle on the, actually, yeah, no, that's not gonna work. I was trying to see if I could kind of grate the sides to get the seasons in a little bit better on the lobster mushrooms, but it's not the same consistency, so I'm not gonna do that. I don't wanna break these up. I want them to be pretty and colorful and red like the lobster. Once I get these cut up, I'm gonna go ahead and turn my cast iron skillet back on, put a little more grapeseed oil in it, and then just basically all I'm gonna do is pour a little grapeseed oil in with the scallops and the mushrooms, put some seasoning, and then just simply saute them for a few minutes on like medium high. Okay, here's the last mushroom. Just put it in different sizes. And thank you for anyone who actually logged in and watch any part of my first vegan cooking live. I saw a few comments. I just didn't want to get distracted as usual and say too much. Trying to keep focus on the prize, which is eating everything that I have cooked and eating it very soon. I feel like I'm about 10-15 minutes away from eating, so I'm really excited about that. Alrighty, so all those mushrooms are cut up. This is gonna be the last thing I'm cooking for you guys. Spaghetti sauce. Alright, let me go ahead and pour a little grapeseed oil. Well, you know what? I don't think I want to pour grapeseed oil. You know what? I changed my mind. Instead of pouring grapeseed oil into the mushrooms right now, I'm actually just going to put the mushrooms in the oil when it heats up and then season it from there once it's cooked. So that just made things a lot easier for me. So instead, what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish getting the spaghetti squash ready. I got one side, so as you guys can see, I mean, I could do it a little bit more. Oh, the piece fell out. But I've already grated it with my fork pretty deep to get a lot of the squash in spaghetti form. And I don't know if y'all saw the birthday post I made about my vegan barbecue that I had this past weekend, but I believe the very first thing that I put on the grill was just some squash. And I just sauteed that in some grapeseed oil and seasonings, and I put it on the grill, and it was so delicious. Like, squash is a great fry replacement. It's just really a task to cut squash up, and it takes time. And so it has given me an excuse to hold on to eating potatoes, which are not alkaline friendly, but I actually do plan on changing that and replacing the fries on my menu, if not with squash fries, but with zucchini fries. I'm just still working on the perfect recipe. Okay, yeah, these are ready. So once everything is sauteed, I can put the sauce on. Oh yeah, lovely. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. And they're still warm, surprisingly. So, at this point, there's no way this oil is not warm. So I'm going to go ahead and toss these in. Banana blossom fish is about 3 minutes away from being done on its first round. And I'm gonna move all these seasons over here close to me. So once these get a good saute and brownness, I can get them seasoned up. Right now I'm just stirring it around. And the grapeseed oil that was in the pan. Keep in mind I use the same pan, so it's still gonna have the seasoning left over from the lobster patties, which turned out so deliciously. I didn't use that much grapeseed oil in this pan. And surprisingly, all these mushrooms have like soaked up all of the grapeseed oil. So I'm just gonna add just a little bit more. Hold on, let's do this to make sure it gets a good sizzle. Yeah, at this point, yeah. Yeah, all the pieces are coated now, so. Off that plate, so I drip some banana blossom sauce on it. Oh, I hear it sizzling now. Alright, I'll pump my little oil thingy. Again, this is a great way to save money on aerosol oil cans. Got this at Bed Bath & Beyond. I think it's like $10. Alrighty. Ooh. I definitely just sprayed the oil behind me. Okay, so I can already tell it's going to take probably another 10 minutes minimum for these banana blossom air fried fish to be done. But I expected them with them being way bigger than the oyster mushrooms or the lobster mushrooms that I used earlier. So we're going to cook those for another 10 minutes. Let me move these around. Okay. So the air fried fish will be done in a minute. So I'm going to add some salt, just kind of around the top. Kelp seasoning. A little white pepper. The juice. Ooh, that got just poured out on me. And let's see what I got over here. A little onion powder. Oh, it looks pretty. And I may, once it's all done, I'm probably going to cut this in half and squeeze some of the lemon juice on top of it once it's done cooking. Alright, so while I have a few seconds, I kind of just wanted to show you guys like what the banana blossom looked like as I kind of unwrapped it. So basically you just pull off layer after layer, and then you have these little pieces which apparently you can pull them open and eat them. I saved like a whole container of them. I'm not gonna cook them tonight, but I'm gonna see if I can try to get them to be like maybe like kind of like a vegan shrimp. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna experiment with those tomorrow. But this is just basically what the banana blossom looks like as you're peeling it down. We'll see how it tastes. Hopefully in about 7 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my sauteed lobster mushrooms and pink oyster mushrooms, which is gonna mimic as my scallops. They are nice and brown and pretty. Once I'm done showing you guys this, I'm definitely gonna let you guys see what they look like before I put them on top of my spaghetti, my lobster spaghetti boat. Okay. So yeah, you're supposed to keep going until you can't go anymore as far as pulling apart the layers. Well, I realized you could kind of technically keep going, and because I wanted my pieces to be kind of bigger, I did leave a little bit of this outer shell. I mean, if anything, I figured it would just kind of make the vegan fish a little crispier. Hopefully it doesn't affect the taste. I doubt it will, but I didn't peel it all the way down, but I did peel it till it was like very close to the core, because I wanted like bigger pieces of fish. Okay, so now that I have it peeled all the way down, took all the leaves off, well, the majority of them, I'm gonna cut off this bottom part, and then I'm just gonna cut it in half. And I kind of cut the middle piece out kind of like in a triangular type of way. I'm trying to keep, I'm gonna get a light, guys. If I'm serious about doing this, I'm gonna get like better lighting for you guys. The tripod is cool, but it's not enough. But I don't know if you can like really, oh wait, if I just hold it closer. That's food on my finger. But yeah, this is what the inside of the banana blossom looks like. Someone said they can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. This is my first time. I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna get better lighting. But you gotta start somewhere, and you gotta eventually start practicing. So again, I think the most interesting part this is doing a Zoom versus doing a live. A Zoom, people interact back. I was cool with doing the Zoom, but the live is just kind of talking to yourself. And it kind of makes me feel like a crazy person, but all right. So I could do another one, but it's really not that difficult. I have one more left, but again, you just pull all the leaves off of the banana blossom. Then once you get down to the end, you cut off the bottom and you cut it in half. So now I'm going to show you the final product for the sauteed lobster mushrooms and scallops. Show you guys the final product. I'm just gonna leave my phone in like super ghetto. I don't care. But this is what the end result looks like. Oh, maybe I should have did that the next, because now it's stuck. Now I won't go back to how it was. Okay. Alright, yeah, that'll work right there. So that was the final product. Now I'm going to taste it. I'm going to try a lobster piece first, and then I'm going to try a scallop piece. So here is the lobster piece. It's probably still really hot. Hold on, burn my tongue. So it definitely reminds me of like a sauteed piece of, ooh, surprisingly it tastes buttery. I wasn't expecting that because I didn't make the vegan butter. But it actually does taste buttery, even without the coconut oil. But I'm not gonna lie, I can use a tad bit more salt and a little bit of, I'm definitely gonna squeeze this lemon over it. I'm gonna add a little bit of kelp too, because it definitely has the consistency right now of the lobster, but not really. I guess that sauteing it kind of took away from that lobster flavor. Ooh, the air fried fish is almost ready, y'all. I'm looking almost done. I'm about to be eating real soon. And I'm going to take pictures of all the finished products. If you don't know, if you ever like have questions or want to DM me about anything vegan, I do, you know, give out tips and stuff in my DM. Or you can text my business number if you want to ask me anything about the vegan lifestyle or about vegan recipes. I don't mind sharing the info. So I'm gonna toss that around. See how it tastes now. That's really good. So now that that's done, I'm gonna make one spaghetti squash boat, and taste it all together. And then I'm going to check on the air fried fish, because it just beeped. So I'm going to put my homemade roasted tomato sauce in. It's just kind of been chilling over here on low after reheated. And I practiced on Snapchat a few days ago with this recipe, but basically it was just Roma tomatoes, onions, bell peppers, shallots, tossed in grapeseed oil and seasonings, and I roasted them all. I have them, I cut them up, and I think I have jalapenos in here too. I roasted them in the oven like a baking sheet for like 30 minutes, I think it was. And then for 30 minutes, because I remember overall it took 50 minutes to cook it. So I cut up all the veggies, just kind of laid them out on a cookie sheet, toss them in oil and like Italian seasonings, you know, the usual oregano, parsley, what else do I use? Not thyme, onion powder. I put seasonings like that in there. Ooh, it's pretty. Roasted in the oven for 30 minutes. Then I put it in the blender. And then I cooked it on the stove top between low and medium for about 20 minutes. So easy to make homemade marinara sauce. You can season it however you like. Roast the vegetables, blend them, Put them on the stove top for 20 minutes and voila. So let me move this out the way. So let me show you guys how it looks. Then we're gonna taste this. Then we're gonna check on the air fried banana blossom fried fish. See how that went. And that will be all done. All right, here we go. I'm gonna try to get a little bit of the squash, the sauce, and the sauteed lobster mushroom all together. Oh my God. That's really good. Yeah, lobster pasta, that would be fire. Like lobster mushroom pasta, yeah, I can see that. But this marinara sauce is matching perfectly with these scallops and lobster mushrooms. And the squash, I mean, you don't even need the carbs and of actual like pasta. The spaghetti squashes are great. You know what? I might start making spaghetti like this, but it's just it's hard to cook with squash. It's so hard to cut, but I could definitely see myself doing like a spaghetti squash, you know, boats maybe this fall. I already have plans to do tomato basil soup this fall on my menu, as well as butternut squash soup on the menu probably at some point. So this was really good, y'all. Yep. It was the sauce for me. The sauce with those mushrooms. Oh my God. Okay, y'all. One more thing. Let's see how this turned out. Plates than this, but you know how sometimes you might let monkeys in your house and they break your dishes? That's what happened to me. So I only have 3 plates instead of 4. But that's alright, we're gonna make it work. Because I'm almost done. Ooh, the fish is pretty for sure. Oh, it's hot. Looks like fish. Ooh, yes. Hungry. Alright, so this is what the air fried fish ended up looking like in the end. I cooked it for 10 minutes on each side for 400. Always make sure you preheat the air fryer. When you're trying to make little fried goodies, preheat the air fryer first. It definitely, I can taste it just from the season being on my hand. It definitely tastes good, but more than likely after this live, even though I cooked it for 20 minutes, it probably could have cooked for like maybe 11 minutes on each side, maybe 12, just to get it a little bit crispier. I'm actually gonna pull out some of my homemade remoulade sauce. Like I said, if I had been thinking about all these vegan seafood goodies I was making today, I would have grabbed more vegan mayo to make vegan tartar sauce, which is delicious and very easy, but I did not. So I'm just gonna use this remoulade sauce that I have. So pretty. And the breading is perfect. Ooh, try this little piece first. It's kind of hot. Oh yeah. I'm so glad I didn't strip it all the way down. See, it's a great thing when you just kind of do what people tell you not to do. I'm glad I left some of that extra skin on there. I would say, oh, it's so good, y'all. The Douce, the kelp season, the sea salt, and the lemon definitely made a huge difference as far as bringing out that kind of seafood taste. I was just gonna say, I want to show y'all this really quickly before I end my live. But yeah, that fish, I don't know if you can really see how crispy it is, but it definitely tastes like a piece of fish. But before I log off, before I just start eating in y'all face any longer, I was gonna show y'all about how far I would stop, because a lot of videos will tell you to kind of keep going, but I'm gonna kind of show you guys where to stop. So I've already taken off a few layers of the leaves already. So this is kind of when it starts getting closer to the end, but not quite to the end. But since I want to dip this, go ahead and get this dipped in the brine anyway for later on. And since I have so many of those pieces, like I said, I may try to make like little, I don't know, shrimp or something with these little small leaf pieces. Oh yeah, I didn't really show it to you guys, but if you are able to get a hold of some banana blossom and you want to make vegan fried fish like I have tonight, when you're peeling down the leaves, I would say stop. You see how it's getting harder to kind of peel, and it's kind of starting to feel like a really hard onion, I guess. You know, if you try to pull an onion apart, like the top parts with the drier skin, it's easier to peel off, but the more you get into the onion, it kind of gets hard to pull it apart. When it starts getting really hard, I would say stop around here, about this size. This is okay to cook. Like, it tastes, and it just helps add to the texture. Don't let it get too small, like in the pieces that you guys see in like the canned banana blossoms. Don't go that far for this. Do it to about here, and you're just gonna cut this bottom part off. And then cut it down the middle. And fry pieces that are about maybe this big, kind of like the size of an avocado. Yeah, about the size of an avocado, maybe a little bit bigger. When it's about the size of an avocado, go ahead and stop. Leave that extra skin on there as long as it's not like the purple leaves. And then dip it in your batter and fry it, whether you air fry it or fry it on the stove. It definitely, yeah, it's good. I mean, I've had it before, but I never had, I mean, when I say I had it before, I've had fried vegan banana blossom before at a vegan food truck, actually. But I had never made it before, had even seen it in stores before. And I actually was able to find these at an Asian store, which Asian grocery stores are really good for finding the king oyster mushrooms that I had, as well as oyster mushrooms, period. I get all of my oyster mushrooms, it seems like, from the Asian supermarkets. But yeah, well, y'all, I've cooked everything I said I was gonna cook. I really didn't have a recipe. I was kind of making it up as I go. But I'll be sure to write this down for next time. But that's it for me. The vegan line is hungry. I'm about to eat. Thank you guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. DM me if you have any questions. Bye-bye.